Welcome to an exciting tutorial on how Photoshop thinks. My name is Robert. I've been teaching Photoshop for 22 years, since 1990. Actually, beta testing since 1989. If there's a better, faster way to use Photoshop, I'm here to help you understand the complexities of Photoshop, how it thinks, and how to basically be a better production artist. Now, for my training studio in New York City, I've been teaching here in New York City since 1991. From this very location. I get a lot of students who go to SVA, Parsons, Pratt, and New School. I think those are great, wonderful design schools. But when it comes to software, they really fall short. So what I want to share with you, I get a lot of students about this time of year who come to me because they can't graduate from their class because they can't finish their project because they don't understand the software. And this is across the board, whether it's Photoshop, or Illustrator, or InDesign, or Dreamweaver, Flash, etc., etc. So my objective is to get you to think how the program thinks. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, Photoshop is image-based programs. What does that mean? Image-based is pixels. The image is broken up into pixels. There's 72 dots per inch. That's how Photoshop thinks. The computer screen understands 72 dots per inch, which means your resolution for web graphics should not be bigger than 72 dots per inch. If you do print production graphics, then you have to go to the resolution of your printer. Now, what I want to share with you is that this is an image-based program, unlike, say, a program like Illustrator, which is vector-based, which is object-based. Illustrator has an object menu. Photoshop has an image menu. Therefore, anything about the image is under the image menu. Okay, so that's how Photoshop thinks. That's how it understands. Now, I just have a brand new file started. I just simply went to File, New, Command New, Macintosh, Control New for Windows. I'm working in Adobe Photoshop cs6 and in Essentials mode, which I highly suggest you do. Now, understand something very important here. By default, your layer here is locked, which means I can't, if I delete this, I'm deleting a locked layer. Now, I can tell it's locked for two reasons. A, the padlock is here. B, it's italicized. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to again share with you how Photoshop is thinking. I'm going to go into the M key. M key, these tools are broken down into three sections. I have selection tools for selecting the image, painting tools for painting the image, and creation tools. So the breakdown here is selection, painting, and creation. So I can create paths, I can create text, I can create shapes, etc., etc. So the first tool we're going to do is pick the marquee selection tool. The shortcut for that is simply the letter M. Now, if you want to be serious at Photoshop, it behooves you to learn the shortcuts. The last thing you want to do, if you go to a freelance job, they want to see how you work. If you're going up to the menu every 10 seconds, that's not a good idea. Now, what I want to share with you, I'm simply going to create a rectangle. Now, if I want to make a perfect rectangle, of course, I hold down the Shift key. So here's my selection. All right. Now, again, here's how Photoshop is thinking. This is selected. These swatches down here, this represents my painting color. This represents my background color. This is the color I paint with. This is the color I erase to or delete to. So as an example, if I simply hit the delete key right now, it's going to bring up this dialog box. Okay. Now, part of the reason this dialog box is coming up here is because my layer is locked. If my layer was not locked, it would have deleted to transparency. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is how to fill a selected object with the foreground color. So my foreground color in this particular case is black. So I can fill a selected object with a foreground color simply by hitting Option key for Macintosh, Control key for Windows. Now, before we move forward, I just want to share with you that we're going to be using shortcut keys a lot. So anytime I hear the Option key, say the Option key, Macintosh, Windows, it's the Alt key. The Command key on Macintosh is the Control key. So I don't want to keep repeating those steps. If you hear me say the Command key, because I'm on Macintosh, Windows, it's the Control key. Macintosh, Option key, Windows is the Alt key. I'm going to hit Option, Delete. That's going to fill the selected object with a foreground color. Command key is able to undo that. onto the edit menu, Command Z, Control Z for Macintosh. Now, let's mix it up a little bit. I'm going to come over here to my swatches, and I'm going to pick this green color as my foreground color. Now, green is the color I either paint with or fill with. So watch this, Option Delete fills it with the foreground color. Command Z undoes that. My background color is white. Now, if you wanted to switch that, you can do that by hitting Shift key X. Shift X swaps the foreground color for the background color. So Shift X does that. Now, my objective here is I want to pick a background color. If I move my cursor over here to the right and hold down the Option key for hold down the Command key for Macintosh, Control key for Windows, I can then make a background selection. So Command key selects the background color, no Command key selects the foreground color. So now I can make my foreground color pink, my background color blue by holding down the Command key. Right, so Command key, Macintosh, Control key, Windows. So again, let's review this. Okay, I want to fill the selected object with pink. I simply hit Option Delete. Command Z undoes that. If you want to fill the background color, then that's Command Delete. Command Delete fills it with the background color. Okay, now if I want to fill it with a variation of color, let's say I want to fill it in with 50% shade of pink, that's Shift Delete. Shift Delete brings up this dialog box. Shift Delete equals Edit Fill. Edit menu Fill equals Shift Delete. So again, let's review. Option Delete, foreground color, Command Z. Command Delete, background color, Command Z. Shift Delete gives me more choices. So now I can fill this with the foreground color at 55% opacity. And I would get something like this. Pretty cool. Now we'll continue this in our next video.